Now, I wanted to talk a little bit today about something a bit close to my heart as well. This was prompted by several conversations I've had over probably the last month or the last 3 weeks with some of my clients about but it is lockdown related, but now kind of restrictions are lifting. This is where the problems are actually beginning because I've had about 3 or 4 clients said to me on coaching calls that they're really worried now that the restrictions are lifted about actually interacting with people again, but not only going back into the office, but actually going out and meeting people because they've got so used to working at home in their PJs or in their comfy clothes or whatever and doing Zoom calls or just interacting on the keyboard that they are. I mean, one lady said to me she's absolutely terrified of going back to the office again, of actually having to get in her car, drive to the train station, get on the train, and go into work and see all those people again. And it just made me think. I mean, it's a whole underlying issue, isn't it? That it's not even it's not even stress related. There is a bit of stress involved here, but it's even deeper rooted than that, isn't it? Psychologically, it's kind of the fear of interacting, the fear of going out into the world again. And I know how it feels because it was only 3 years ago I moved from London and decided to put some roots down where I live now. So the first year was literally about getting the place together and getting it decorated, putting my stamp on it, and then the plan was to actually get out, create a social life, and get out there and meet some new friends. Didn't happen, did it? A year into it, all of a sudden COVID struck, and then last year, my gorgeous mum passed away during COVID and during lockdown, and it was just terrible. I wasn't even allowed to see her for the first 4 months, but luckily I managed to see her in the 2 weeks before the inevitable before she passed. So that was a blessing. But even I found. Because I'm a Leo, I'm Leo the Lion. That's why I've got my tattoo on my arm there. I'm a proper Leo. I'm outgoing. I'm extroverted. I love to be with people. I love to be around people. And I found being locked in, being in lockdown and just being by myself it started to do a number on my head a little bit. So I can understand how these people feel. I love to interact, and just walking around my place, I've been like a lion prowling, go, "Rah, rah, let me out of here." So, but I still go out. I'll go out walking. I'll go and talking to people, and I'll interact with people. I do understand how people feel though, because when I had to go out for the first time, was it a month ago or so? I did feel a little bit nervous about actually, getting dressed, putting on a bit of scent, putting on some nice shoes and everything, and going out and meeting people. I wasn't scared, but I did feel just a little bit nervous about going out there. So I can understand people who can't. Who aren't maybe as gregarious, who aren't quite as adventurous, or being a little bit more introverted, who've got so used to their own company or being within their own home environment, how it can affect them, going out into that big wide world again. It must be a bit like I guess it's like a different version of claustrophobia, or claustrophobia or agoraphobia, isn't it? It's the opposite. So all of a sudden you've kind of got used to claustrophobia, so you've got used to your own space and being enclosed, and then all of a sudden you've been invited back into the open world again, and it's agoraphobia, isn't it? So it's like all of a sudden you've had the fear of being closed in. Now you've got the opposite, the fear of actually being let out into the world again, agoraphobia. And it's kind of a mixture of the two. You've got used to the comfort of being out there. You want to be out there, but the thought of going out there is even more scary than being here in your own secure little bubble. So I get that. And I don't know, long term, how are you going to address that? I mean, I've done coaching sessions with people around this, and there's no easy solution. There really isn't. You don't want to say words to people just to make them feel better. You want to give them solutions for, going from claustrophobic to agoraphobic. And there's not any quick fix for it. There really isn't. It's a case about feeling your way again, starting to interact a little bit at a time, just sticking your toe in the water, if you pardon the phrase kind of thing, and then, just diving in again when you feel up to it. But there's no easy solution, and it's not going to go away quickly. And I don't know, there's this division as well now, with kind of vaxxers, anti-vaxxers, people wearing masks, people not wearing masks, creating even more uncertainty around all this as well, which isn't helping. And I think many businesses don't really know which way to go either. I mean, there's apparently some rule coming in now, then, whether some companies are saying if you don't get jabbed, don't come back to work. Or so I don't know. It's a strange new world. It's a brave new world, and you're going to have to be brave to actually just embrace it and go out there and take it on the chin. So I don't know what you guys think. I'd love to hear your comments. Have you felt a little bit? Have you been? Have you felt closed in by the claustrophobia of it, and but kind of got used to the claustrophobia. But now that you've been kind of given the go ahead almost to kind of go out again, all of a sudden you've gone from claustrophobic to agoraphobic. Have you felt that feeling of, oh, do I really want to go out? Oh, I'm really looking forward to going out. Just let me out there, or is it a mixture of the two? I'd love to hear how you're feeling and what your comments are and what you're thinking and how you think it's all going to move forward. So those are my thoughts for today. I probably won't see you over the weekend, so have a brilliant weekend, and I'll chat to you all again on Monday.